Welcome to Shri and Kira Live, the voice of passionate action. Celebrating 21 years of continual public service, Shri and Kira offer you the blessing of the experience of I am as you are. Enjoy timeless wisdom, divine inspiration, community connection, and joyful fun. Discover your best life filled with the peace, love, and joy of the yoga of self-ascension as you ignite your dreams with the law of instantaneous manifestation. And now, sit back and relax and welcome Shri and Kira. Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to your divine appointment. I am Master.
You are. He is. He is. Does that tell you the day ahead?
I am Master Wisdom Teacher Sri Ram Ka.
You heard it here first.
This is my beloved Master, Lady Kira Ra, and together we are Sri and Kira. We're loving you. We're glad you're
my
here.
goodness. Oh my goodness. And today, hey, if you didn't figure it out already, guess where we are? We are in our beautiful yoga dance studio here at Tosa Blue Mountain. I'm gonna try and can I turn this or not? Will
sure.
it turn? I'm gonna swivel a little bit because it's a gorgeous day. And look at those beautiful murals, all done by Freddie. And believe it or not, those are not deep arches. That's his 3D effect. Don't they look like they're beautiful deep arches? And our beautiful Shiva over there on that beautiful pedestal made by, of course, Edgar. Look at the valley, guys. We just felt that. Is this the most beautiful day? And how about that gorgeous, gorgeous snake that's crawling up our beautiful post there? And hey, what's right around the corner? Oh my goodness, it is Kyla and it is David waving you a big hello. And look at their background. Look at the Compadres Mountains and welcome everyone to a beautiful, truly extraordinary Sunday experience as we come together right here, right now. And of course, Archangels Raphael and Uriel are there, along with a few other of our dear friends. The flames are going. Let's sit by the fireside and have this chat because we're ready.
Absolutely. So let's take a moment and really come together as conscious spiritual beings.
Yes.
I think so often we forget the power of our intention, the power of our energy that is directed by consciousness.
Yes.
So I invite you right now to be conscious of your breath.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to bring a hand to your heart.
Or both. Oh, wow. That was fun. I hope you all enjoyed that.
And in that, let's add in the Ave Saw. The Ave meaning the hail, the recognition of the divine energy. And the Saw meaning I release my need to control and I receive that energy. Ave on the inhale, Saw on the exhale. Here we go together. Ave, Saw. And again. Let a smile come to your face. A smile is indeed the signal to the soul that we are here, that we are content and available, ready for expansion.
In every way. And in this moment, in the July moment, we want to invite you into the divine embrace of your mastery self, of your mastery presence. And this past week, it was July 25th. You know us in linear time. I'm like, when was that? I believe it was last Monday. But we wanted to open today by centering and really bringing us back to a short, very powerful, they're always a surprise, so to speak, ensoulment that came through last Monday that has been sincerely expanding in extraordinary ways. And so can we share that with everybody, Shri? Can we share that with them? All right. So we're going to share this ensoulment with you. And if you're on our, let's go to the first page first, honey. And if you're on our e-card list, if you receive our emails, then you saw this, or maybe if you didn't open it, or if you want to open it again, go back to your inbox and look at June 25th. This is when this arrived in your inbox. Now, as we come forward today, as we begin our time together today, we sincerely invite you to bring your hand to your heart right now and take in that extraordinary Ave Saw breath, the one that maybe you just keep those eyes closed, but when that beautiful smile illuminates, there's an inner peace, an inner knowing, and the recognition that every single experience we are sharing with you today, remember, put it in the chat, talk to each other as you can, and Shri and I will be answering your questions. So stay with us, breathe in, and let's come together today with really intentional, sacred focus into this experience. And Shri, would you be so blessed as to guide us?
Absolutely. So I'm going to read this ensoulment. I ask that each of you receive the benefit by simply being present, breathing, and receiving. The authenticity of divine mastery presence is the yoga of self-ascension in form. To soar beyond dogma and fully embrace our eternal nature is the gift.
So let's stop and breathe. Really receive that. And you'll notice if your eyes are open that there's a graphic here, the seeds of creation ignition. This is what's happening as Shri is sharing with you. This is the energy we're bringing forward today, because first and foremost today is about the receptivity of the energy. So knowing that it's the authenticity of that divine mastery presence. Receive.
Humanity is actively ascending, regardless of the conscious awareness that meets the energy of the transformation within the resources of your divine mastery presence. Knowing is the awareness of the now moment. As we prepare to soar into the depth of the ancient codes of reconnection, relax into the knowing that everything that you have ever dreamed of is ready to manifest. Smile. And as you bring a hand to your heart, receive this short and valuable ensoulment. June 25th, 2023, 2:30 p.m. Ecuador time, the Saint Germain itself shares through Master Lady Kira Ra. The adherence to any dogma in and of itself limits the potentiality of consciousness. To literally and strictly adhere to the words of dogmatic traditions is the beginner's journey into the depth of their own wisdom. To notice and actively participate through the expansion of strict literal adherence into the depth of the message is the journey of density. The journey of density is the gift of expansion through the dogma. To fully embody awareness as the ultimate expression of the dogma outside of all sense of agenda and manipulation. Dogma will, in all ways, self-preserve, as it is the nature of the densified world to avoid any sense or perception of death at any and all costs. This is the energy of avoidance of death of what was. The avoidance is birthed through the fear of what may be and supports all dogma to thrive. To receive answers that have the collective approval sustains the arrogance of the ego as all dominant. Through this perception of the reality experience, compliance becomes a gateway to the perception of happiness, and complicity becomes a state of experiencing form. Through mandatory compliance, divine mastery presence in form retreats and patiently waits for you to rise and once more discover the self that is beyond the dogma and embraces the transformation joyfully.
Relax into a breath and notice what you're noticing. As I'm connecting with all of you, what I'm first noticing is in the truth chakra, almost like a, not a plug, but very much like like that ultimate gulp, right? Yeah, exactly, like that ultimate gulp. But I'm also noticing a lot of frequencies that are moving through the heart chakra right now. And this is exactly what the invitation and why we kind of rolled back a few days. Because last Monday, and Shri, would you please put up the initiations? Yeah. During Monday Mastery, so that was the 25th, that ensoulment came in on the 25th. Well, last Monday, on June 26th, the first of the 6 codes of these incredible initiations was gifted. And Shri and I spent, what, 2 weeks in bed?
A lot of integration time.
Literally, I mean, just could not, it was just one of those moments where we had to check out, to integrate, to fully even, we are still unpacking. And the clarity of the only way that into this potentiality, these codes of illumination can be received is through these 6 initiations that must take place during the sequencing of this moment. And it all began last week. And so you see that if you were not part of Monday Mastery, why? Because number one, this is the way. This is the way to receive these initiations. It's the way to come together. It's the way to stand. It's outside of the dogma. It's outside of anything. It's the enhancement of that which you are so that you can flourish. The yoga of self-ascension is as unique as you are. And you can see that last Monday on the 26th, Shri and I were honored and blessed to carry forward the King's Chamber opening of potentiality, which is the first of the frequency, which is why I have this graphic behind all the initiations, because remember, that's what's going on. We're in the middle of the seed of creation, carrying a frequency in the sea of neutrality at a moment where we are sincerely holding the July-August bridge over this extraordinary stormy sea. And what is so beautiful is that what is STORM?
STORM, see the oneness, reclaim mastery.
2023. So whenever we're in that invitation, whenever we're in those moments to see the oneness and reclaim mastery, we have our greatest opinions of our own making surface to support that which has been solely out of the fear of what already is. So really breathe that in. When we fear the future, what we're saying is, I'm unable to come forward now. What has been has already gone through its cycle. The birth of this moment now began long before we came together today. We are, however, at a tipping point moment. And this is why the Ascended Masters came clearly forward and said, gather 1,000 points of light and show them beyond dogma. They are ready to know. And this is a moment for each of us to really go deep within and to invite yourself to really ask, am I really willing to see what I've been talking about, praying about, thinking was real, I'm pretty sure is real, I've always known was real? Am I ready to really look myself in the mirror and call it in and own it? Be the law of instantaneous manifestation. Live outside of the complicity. Because to come forward in your truth, excuse me, is to celebrate I am as you are, to ignite the smile that can never be taken, to step into the experience of you in your highest manifested potential, and to have the experience of that highest manifested potential through the conscious utilization of the law of instantaneous manifestation. Now, to do that does require all that you've ever been taught as true to be viewed with the love and affection of a young child just waking up. To be able to come forward through your own chatter. And it brings us all the way to navigating the inner matrix. I really need to say that. With sincerity, love, and presence, if you have not given yourself the gift of navigating the inner matrix, and you want to know where this all begins, you go to ShreeandCarrie.com, you go to our home study program and get Navigating the Inner Matrix. Right?
Absolutely. It's a foundational support curriculum with a coach, very affordable, that takes you through the woods of the ego, you might say. You know, one of the things that's so important to recognize is each and every one of us is a master. Each and every one of us carries that divine presence inside. And yet the convention in our outer world is to mostly ignore that and instead comply and conform.
So let's take a better look at July and what's going on, right? So here it is. As you gaze at July, what's important to, would you read the top there for us, Shree?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
I have to lower it a little bit.
Okay.
There we go. All is being mirrored, and the universe is inviting deeper connected presence.
Now, deeper connected presence. For some, it's a glorious moment of celebration. For others, it is a moment that has called forward a new way of being. And this is important to know. How am I with the moment at hand? How am I with all that is happening? We are in an experience month, and look at the code itself. It's an 11. The 1 and the 1 will always equal 1. So a couple of notes you want to look at right here, and that's what I'm calling the 0 point creation field, which has that Wednesday pillar, and then on either side of that, you see how the Tuesdays and the Thursdays this month are very much the eyes kind of gazing at each other. So what does that really mean? It means, and I'm going to go back right now to the live view, it means that we're in an active creation moment. We're in a moment where sincerely we are messing with our camera, my husband and I. We've had a challenge today, tech stuff. We are at a moment where we are the living key, right? It's part of why I'm standing up is, remember the 0 point? So in order to be living in your divine mastery presence, you become that 0 point gravitational field of creation itself, thereby opening the torus field. Well, I'm going to go back to the calendar. Now you've got that, right? You have that visual. Remember that one? All right. So now when I bring you back to the calendar, what I want you to see is that. Do you see yourself? You're the Wednesday pillar. And then I want you to notice the energy of the self reflecting the self, sustaining that energy through, and look at the transmission of energy. What is that showing us? What is that transmission doing? Well, it's coming from our star consciousness, and it's right now. We are in the energy of a super moon up level right now. Look at tomorrow. And then look what happens going into the 4th. We're taking all this energy. Remember, yesterday we had this Jupiter-Mars amplification, that kind of like the god of creation, the god of war. It's all showing up at the same time. So as this is coming together, July is really birthing an extraordinary moment of the yes opportunity to say, I am as you are. This is our moment. Let's do this.
And so as we are saying, I am as you are, this is our moment, let's do this.
Yeah, let's look at the end.
It begins with the gratitude of that which has gone before.
Yeah.
And so as we say thank you to June, thank you to the solstice, thank you for the ignitions, and receive them in, we are then ready to be in that mirrored experience with peace, love, and joy.
Yeah.
So here we are at the Ascended Numerology. And so one of the things that's important to recognize is that July 2023 is 9 plus the infinite. Now that's powerful because 9 as a number of completion is the energy of a completion energy. The infinite is bringing in that connection, and the mind can rest as connection anchors, experiencing all as the illuminated smile of divine mastery presence.
You know, Shri, can I jump in on that? Because
Yes.
that's just so amazing. So as you're gazing at the chart right now, I want you to just like let go of all the numbers, let go of what you think you're looking at, and look at the body. Look at the body. And what do you notice? What were you talking about earlier when Shri and I were opening up? We were talking about that heart energy, how we're feeling this heart energy moving. Well, if you gaze at this entire month is all about your high heart, which means what? It means the divine galactic blueprint is either going to stabilize or wobble. And here's the blessing. This is that yes, right? Not only is it the high heart, look up from the high heart, throat, vision, lotus, divine influence, all coming together with infinite presence. Then gaze back over at the clock, and what do you see? You see us dipping in and out of the infinite all month long. And here's what's really extraordinary. I'm just going to go, we can bring it back up in a second. And here's what's really extraordinary about that, because we're going to bring the chart back up. Did you see that? Remember a few months ago, we were kind of doing the pendulum? Mm-hmm. This month, we're saying, no, this is the piece. It's one of those where you've been doing that 1,000-piece puzzle, and you've been at 999 forever because somebody dropped something down the couch and you've yet to find that piece, right? You're praying it's not in the vacuum bag kind of thing. So guess what? You found it. But the key is, now that you have it, it's almost the bittersweet moment of completion. And that's the moment everyone's facing. It's a bittersweet moment of completion because it's a moment where if the work that you have claimed within to arrive at this moment is still at a formation where your doubt is greater than the trust of yourself, then that high heart frequency in harmony with the entire universe is either going to say, wow, I'm having a hard time staying together, which means it's going to kind of implode back into the emotional heart. So remember that. Or it's going to lock and load your 12-pointed ascended process as the divine master you are. It's a yes month. The question is, what are you saying yes to?
Always a good question.
Right?
The other thing about this month is
Do you want me to put it back up?
Yeah, let's put it back up.
Okay.
The upper chakra availability.
It's wild, right?
Is a gift.
Is this insane? Look at this.
All of the energies, all of the flow that is here is informing, activating, and guiding. The question is, can you relax into your own soul's divine energy and trust that which is being revealed? Because that which is being revealed is beyond dogma. Mm-hmm. It's beyond convention. It's beyond what has passed before in the outer world.
Yeah, and so now that you're looking at that, and you see what I'm talking about, look at the 5 on the clock. So you see the 5 on the clock. What's fascinating is it's the only number on that side of the wheel. And the 5, along with being the eternal life, is also our truth and our throat. And so what's happening is, look at the pull on the 5. You really see it on the clock. And you also see the blessing of the 5 because it has this direct connection to the 9. And remember that in ascended numerology, the 9 is the high heart itself. And so what is your best way to navigate this month? That's why we opened with the dogma. that's why we're sharing this with you. And, you know, I want to invite you, let's take a moment, let's just kind of bring our hands to our heart. And all morning I've been having this, I don't know, like a connection, let's use that word. And I've been having this connection with moments in my life leading up to before I met Shri, where so much of my life was done because I was complicit, because my sense of peace was based upon doing what others thought I should do versus what my heart was calling me to do and knew was true and knew was best for me. And you all know most of that. You know, the first time I denied that, I dropped dead of cancer, right? And had my first near-death experience at, you know, the ripe old age of 29 in 1989. And that was really an extraordinary moment. But what really came to mind as Shri was rereading that, and as we were going through the July, and something I'm inviting all of you to look at in your life, which is why I'm sharing from my heart to yours. Many of you know that Shri is my beloved eternal life husband, right? He's number 5. And I'm number 3, right? And I'm number 3, so did you.
we all practice.
Right? He's number 3, so we're an 8. But the reason I'm sharing that is I was remembering my 3rd husband, who I was married to for all of 3 months. And the reason that was in front of me was because I was so aware that it was a moment in my life where he clicked all the right boxes for me to have the illusion of everything that my family, that those around me, that all of those around me felt would be perfect. Mm-hmm. You know, he was a doctor, he, you know, had good money, he had, you know, profession. I was in the insurance industry, I was at one of the peaks of my career then. He was very well accepted by then. He was the right political party, you know, all of those things. And he was the right ethnicity, because that was the first time I went within the ethnicity of my own being, as far as this form is concerned. And I look at the disservice I did to him in my complicity to everything that I was told to do. And that the minute we showed up in Hawaii on our honeymoon, I knew then I had made a horrible mistake, because I had my authenticity staring at me. And in this moment, I'm sharing that with you, because how many of us, throughout any conscious knowing, at the time, I was so sure that this was yes, 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 right? I was the one that needed to change and do all this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sharing it with all of you now because that's what July is doing. It's mirroring before you your own complicity. And when we can gaze at our lives, when we can look in the mirror, right? When Shri and I look at you, we're looking in the mirror. This is the mirror, right? So when we can look in the mirror and love ourselves and see it, then we are free from it. Then we have that moment to really soar. And in this July moment of high heart, connected directly to our ascended being, is it any surprise, is it any shock that, number one, the sacred codes and the initiations are continuing, that July the 13th, Thursday the 13th, be there and get as many people there as you can, because the up-level experience of mastery consciousness that the masters are ready to share on those 2 dates will assist the expansion into the mastery presence outside of complicity, where true service and true oneness reign and the new world is birthed. And I want you to remember, Shri and I are sharing today, please, if you have any comments, put them in over at YouTube. I believe that Sue's going to be sharing them with us, and we will be answering your questions directly as well.
So I want to pop up the slide as a wonderful reminder.
Oh, thank you, Shri. How kind.
That July 13th and 20th is a unique opportunity to be in the flow of that divine transmission from the masters. And this is only, this is a beautiful live webinar experience where you will feel, you will receive, and you will harness the law of instantaneous manifestation through that activation that comes. I'd like to say it's getting behind the camera of our existence. You know, when we sit in a movie theater, we often get hypnotized by what's on the screen. But when you stand in the projection booth, you begin to see what is a presentation versus what is really going on. And that indeed is the journey of awakening, is it not? To enjoy the presentation, but not to be drowned in the hypnosis of it.
Really powerful.
And so head to SriAkira.com and register for this wonderful event. It's a two-day event, a week apart, begins July 13th. You will be happy you said yes.
Now, Sri, I need to ask you, is there a discount coupon they can use to get a discount off the cost? You mentioned there was one.
There was one for today. I'm going to have to back check and make sure it's still working. The discount coupon is simply yes.
Well, can we make it work?
I can make it work after the show.
So we're going to make it work after the show. So today is Sunday, June 2nd. And so because of our confusion, we're going to make that good through the 4th. So between now and July 4, just go in and put in the word yes.
You can save a significant portion of that registration.
And remember
it's
that,
affordable.
And also remember that, you know, even without the coupon, it's affordable and it's a donation. You know, 100%, Sri and I are ministers. So at the end of the day, 100% of everything we do to really encourage the donations. And so thank you for your Shakti exchange. Yeah. And let's see you there because this matters. And I will share that you're going to tangibly feel the difference. Mm-hmm. And I hesitate to share that out loud because there's a part of me that hesitates to say it, yet it's the truth. And so bringing us back into that July experience, we have that alchemical transformation that humanity is going through. We have seen what's happening with the high heart. But here's the other thing I want to remind you. You might recall that we started with the opening of the unification molecule. This all happened in March. In March, when Sri and I went and said, yes, we will stand in the energy of convergence. We will walk into the bowels and stand in the center. And when we did, when we left Los Angeles, when we came back, this is what opened. And what you see here is that this is that opened eye. It's that eye in this potentiality that is able to realize that there is more than the one experience. It is that multidimensional awareness that sees all potentialities and ignites, and you see it shimmers right there, that beautiful radiance on the sea of neutrality. And from there, through its own release of judgment and movement into seventh dimensional awakened presence, where the recognition that we are all here, that when we come to a seat at the master's table, it's not to invite another to change, it's to welcome them as they are, grateful for their gifts. It's a unification. And through that unification, all it takes is the first one to have the momentum to meet the second one that has the momentum, to ignite that greater portal of opening. And as we have been moving from March into this experience, the diamond portal illuminated. And that diamond portal with its beautiful violet presence has called forward the unified field. This is what the mirrored energy is. It's this. This is getting it shot in July. This is the moment when, if you're ever going to be a part of it, if you're ever going to come forward, stop messing around, stop talking about it, because the universe has got your back. And this is the moment. And I will share with you that Sri and I are taking that very, very seriously between all the people we're meeting with, the collaborations that we're putting together here at Tosa Blue Mountain, the things that are manifesting. There are miracles happening.
Yes.
What is your mirror showing you?
I'm just going to dwell with that for a moment.
Let's take an Nave Saw breath on that.
As we breathe in. Your life reflects to you that which is meant to be loved, expanded, or resolved. Tune in with that reflection. And speaking of tuning in, we have some comments that have come through. I want to share a few of these and acknowledge.
Hi, everybody.
So Eshtar writes, every Monday mastery gathering uplifts and nourishes me and supports my expansion.
Thank you for receiving.
She says, if you haven't experienced this yet, gift yourself by joining us.
And you know, shrinkcure.com, it's all there on the homepage. If you scroll, boom, 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 including September equinox, because we still have a lot to share about the predictions.
And Nava writes, navigating the inner matrix really paved the way for me.
Thank you, Nava, because that is the truth. It is the gateway. Shri and I, literally, Archangel Zodkiel fed that program through us, and we literally went through it ourselves before it was put out to all of you. So thank you.
Very, very fundamental and powerful.
Number one, right? Baseline.
That's it. All right, so here we got
Jerry.
Jerry says, I'm feeling great gratitude every morning to just be alive and to experience this beautiful life.
Yes, she said the word yes. I love that.
Yes, and she continues with a question. How can I relax the resistance of the body more?
Two things. Number one, believe it or not, more exercise. And whatever way it serves you, and however much exercise you think you're getting, then vary it. If you already think you're doing enough, but sincerely, what I have directly experienced, so I'm sharing this from direct experience, and we all know that each of our direct experiences is so that we may serve, learn, and assist others when they have that experience. What I have learned is that when I have had, for example, the injury that I had that lasted from December to June, that if you have something that interrupts the pattern of exercise, the body goes back into that pattern of resistance. The more that we sit in couch lock, the more that we stay in our old patterns, and that's not just the body physically. I'm also talking emotionally. You know, go outside the box, force yourself to do something you never thought you would do, and then celebrate how much you enjoyed it or what you learned, right? All of those, because at the end of the day, it's a combination of motion and joy. Right? So look at the joy motion balance in your life, and you'll find your release will be pretty easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to add one more thing since we're on the topic, and that is that as you bring greater awareness to your sacred partner, your body, I suggest putting a hand on your heart, perhaps your left hand, and let your right hand just float and find the place that's holding whatever pain or congestion. Once you find it, beam love. Fill it with love and say, thank you for your service. Thank you for your participation in this joyful experience. It is through the energy of love and gratitude that so many things simply resolve naturally. Why not proactively bring that to any place in your body that has a little going on?
Yeah, and remember, guys, erase. Have you forgotten? Erase. Truly. Call that in. And if you forget what that is, go over to our YouTube, stay on YouTube right here, and go watch the video on the mind control again and again and again. Anybody, if you have that link, put it in the chat. Go watch that video. Keep erasing. When we were in Egypt, I don't know that I would have made it through literally 10 days of white skies. Because of the dust.
Blue.
It was very different lumens, and I was constantly erase, because you can very quickly forget yourself and disconnect through that lumen experience. So remember that too.
Hey, a couple of more comments to share.
Okay.
All right. Leslie writes, I'm still feeling deep emotion from the initiation from last Monday.
Yeah, we all are.
It was truly a powerful gathering, and these Monday Mastery gatherings, we go deep. It's an opportunity to really celebrate the journey. And so we invite you to join us. Catch up, get that last initiation, and join us for the July flow.
You know, Shri, I do need to share that. Leslie, thank you for sharing that, because this is exactly why when Shri and I really sat deeply with this information and we were going deep within, how do we bring this forward? How do these ancient codes get revealed? What is the best way? It was to honor them sacred by those that were participating having to make a sacred commitment of both time and a donation. And that donation starts with $1, right? So it's just about that. It's that sacred value within of the exchange of value. And then in addition to that, it was the timing. And as you're saying, it takes time. And remember, you get the video, reconnect, reconnect, reconnect. So thank you for honoring that sacred gift. We're very grateful.
Absolutely. We have one more question here. Courtney writes, how do I soften enough to allow this dogma teaching into my mind and heart? I feel like I'm banging my head on it and I'm struggling to deeply comprehend it.
There's your answer. Forgive me. You're in your own way. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's beautiful and it's cute because you're basically saying, I'm really enjoying looping my mind. I really like the way that feels. I really like generating these questions. Thereby, my mind feels really good. And I feel like I have to remember in Monday Mastery, we've been teaching what are one of the code words? Understand. It's a left brain. And so it's an invitation. At the end of the day, that is an initiation and an invitation. And it's an invitation, and we'll post it. We're going to post that. I think we need to post this at the website. So we're going to post this at the website later today. You'll find it in the article section. And I'll add a little commentary to it as well. So we'll post it as an article. What this is the invitation, because this is what's happening July 13. It's an invitation to say, okay, what if, let me just tease you a little bit. I'm asking, I don't want to offer anything because I'm so respectful to that which has been entrusted in Shri and I to deliver. But what I'm being shared that I can share with you in this moment is that humanity, there are those in this potentiality who through their mastery presence are ready to remember beyond all of the myths. And that within each dogma is the blessing of an ignition for when the myth becomes larger than the truth, the divine mastery presence will raise and invite the eyes to open or to close again. Our level of consciousness is our veil. The July moment is an invitation to lift yet another one. However, one must step into it with the willingness of the heart that is opening the 12 points of the Divine Galactic Blueprint and the trust in the mastery that is opening the way. And so it is. Let's take in a breath.
The trust in the mastery that is opening the way. As we trust more, grace and ease become ever more present.
You know, I want to talk about this graphic again, because I think it's really important that we really are clear on what this means. And before I do, I want to remind you all that we are in a moment of an Ascension Renaissance. And in this Ascension Renaissance, what is a Renaissance? It's birth. It's a moment of coming out of a perception of darkness or an experience of darkness. And if you have yet to connect with these books, please do it right now. Go to Amazon, you'll find them. It's 2 books if you get it in Kindle. It's 1 book if you get it in paperback. It is also out there in Spanish. Everything they're very, very low priced because it's about the experience. These are a foundation. And as I share that with you again, it's to remember that we are at this moment of rebirthing ourselves into this potentiality that is carrying this extraordinary seed of consciousness. And so, showing the graphic very, very quickly because it's important. This matters. It matters personally, globally, collectively, politically. It matters. And in consciousness, it was beautiful to see this in Egypt as it truly illuminated this. That was an extraordinary moment. And I'm sharing this with you because how that happened was we were there with another beautiful master shepherding their beautiful herd, but we were there in the full conscious awareness of each other. And I'm not, out of respect for them, I'm not going to mention their name because I didn't tell them I would. But in that joint awareness between all of us, a greater portal is still opening. Where are your greater awarenesses coming? Where are your eyes seeing that when we come together in the law of instantaneous manifestation, it begins first with 100% acceptance of self, of divine mastery, presence, into form through trust in the universe, guiding all of your thoughts, actions, deeds, experiences. And then it comes from this, right? That divine presence.
Oh, let's breathe into that too. Society is used to being entertained, distracted, and actually we become addicted to being misinformed also. And so as we come into this divine presence, as we come into the stillness of that centered, ascended heart energy, our truth detector comes online. Our discernment filters get honed, and we're able to recognize that we are indeed spiritual beings first.
Indeed.
And that the worldly expression is just part of the fun.
So, as part of that fun, some steps for July. You want to write these down or not? But July is mirroring. So how is your home? How is your environment? What does your home look like? Does it bring you joy? Do you need to rearrange some things? Do you need to plant some new flowers? Do you need to just get out of Dodge for a while? What is calling you in July? Number one. Number two, connect with Gaia, and celebrate. Everything we're sharing with you is actually the opportunity into a celebration that is so vast and so beautiful. It is a moment of yes. And to be with that which brings you that joy. Now, I want to go back to what I mentioned when we first began today about July and August. Because July and August are this extraordinary moment where I'm not sure if I queued up. Okay, good enough. Here we go. You see the 2023 flow of creation. So it's an ascension experience year in an experience month as part of the peak spiral of creation, receiving its coding, receiving its information. And so as we move through July and August, everything is coming into the new harmony. There are new frequencies that are here, and they're not all doing the same thing. So celebrating them is the gift of celebrating how balance is being restored through, remember that ascended numerology? Let me just pop it up one quick time again, right? Through that huge support of that 5, your truth, holding that infinite portal between the 7, 8, and 9 all month long. So this is a moment to remember that where you prepare, the moments ahead leading up to the September equinox are all about preparation, preparation, preparation. So pay attention to what that means for you, because preparation has a broad interpretation based upon the consciousness that meets it. What we know is that we have one beautiful piece of land left here. We know in preparation that the final person that will ever have the opportunity to build and be here, whether full-time, part-time, investing, whatever, that's happening right now. We know that the river house needs new custodianship so that we can continue to do more here. We know that the pyramid of peace and all that is radiating from Ecuador is making a difference because of you and the sacred intention of our community. So in this moment, we want to invite you to take a moment, bring your hands to your heart, and be with us at Tosa Blue Mountain for a moment and just enjoy this short little video. And when we come back, we also want to dive into more of your questions and some other really important predictions for this month.
Here we go.
So, David, what brought you here to that magical land?
I came to Tosa by wife is the one that got me involved with Shri and Kira, and I find when we came here in November to look at lots for the house, and I found this place that have a magical energy to it that was really, really, for lack of a word, addictive, and it's such a great place to be and a great place to spend my my winter months in the future. I've been here for approximately a month, and it's hard to explain. You have to be here to appreciate the energy in this place. But the pyramid of peace is quite the focus point for the energy in this area. Well, I'll tell you, you don't realize being in the hustle bustle of the real world how it really affects you. But once you get away from that, you start to wind down a little bit, and you really start to cleanse and out all the bad things out of your system, and your energy starts to open up more, and you just feel a lot better, a lot more happy about things, and really glad we really came down here.
Wonderful.
The guys that are working for me, these are really hard workers. They're doing a great job, lots of energy.
Well, thank you for receiving that. And at the very least, please go to TosaBlueMountain.com and come join us, because this is truly an arc. And Shri and I have been using that word more and more because we're so aware of the truth of that. And not only is it a 200-year-old hacienda with so many varieties of hummingbirds, I mean, we're like an Audubon paradise. We also have native plants. We're able to live off of the land. We have beautiful organic gardening projects happening here, labyrinths, and of course, the Pyramid of Peace.
There's abundant water, there is peace, tranquility, and a thriving natural environment. We share this with you because this is the energy of restoration. This is something that we invite each and every one of you to touch in and to cultivate in your own soul. And speaking of touching in, you know, this September at the equinox, we're going to be hosting an event. There'll be a broadcast. We invite you to consider join us live. Come down here and touch this Garden of Eden, touch this energy, and be part of the celebration.
Now let's talk about what's really going on here, because if we are already getting close to selling out here at Tosa Blue Mountain. So if you want to come, go to TosaBlueMountain.com first, and please reserve your room. Get your room reserved. The event itself, go to ShriandKira.com. The worldwide broadcast, if you are here, it's of course included in being here on site. And if you are here, the assembly of the indigenous that are coming forward, where they are coming from, these groups, I'm not even going to say their names yet, but we are so blessed and so honored. There will be multiple medicine ceremonies going on throughout the night. Those of you on site will have a selection or a choice of how and where you would like to celebrate and continue. We will be filming. We will be bringing all this together, because this equinox is arising because of the codes. And I want to put the codes up again, because it's extraordinarily important for you to understand that when Shri and I went through the fields, when we went into the temples, it was like trip switches. There would be moments where I would walk in and I was seeing entire cities. I saw the people, I was smelling it. It was right there. There were moments where rooms that we were in full color and everything was restored. There were moments where there was powerful overlays, and the 6 initiations of the Ancient Codes of Illumination revealed themselves through Shri and I taking weeks post-Egypt, really diving in. And I want you to go now to your attention, look down, and you see July 10, right? That is the next one. That is initiation 2. And sincerely, mark every one of these on your calendar. Be there for everyone live, because it matters. And if you can't be there live, make sure you're there to get the video. Make sure you're part of it. When we come together on July 10, not only is it the Queen's Chamber and the subterranean unification, this is for stable interdimensional connection, and it is also Shri's birthday. And we all know since 2019, every birthday we celebrate with Shri is a +1 bonus. And so together, I love the timing of that. And then when you look at July 24, before we are able to move into the third initiation, which is the full Sphinx illumination of all potential formation, we must meet on the 13th and the 20th. It has to happen before that initiation. Because consciousness and the release and the freedom from the dogmatic entrapment and the ability to be able to harness the law of instantaneous manifestation through the alchemical transformation that you are going through, whether you're conscious of it or not, is the necessary harmonic experience that will prepare all for that third initiation. So then, and I'm going to put it up just one more time, and then we're going right to your questions because I see they're piling up. Then we're going back to the initiations, and you see on the 24th, we're able to resume because the Sphinx illumination of potentiality formation is so important. I can't even begin to share it. It's an entire July 24th. And then you see what happens in August. But it brings us to September because in September, initiation 6 is Darandera. I think I spelled it wrong. It's knowing the truth. And it is the pre-equinox initiation. It is the final one that prepares us for the integration that will begin in the Pyramid of Peace with the unified, I don't even want to mention how many tribes yet, but it's going to be a lot of us here. Be here live. You want to be a part of this. And if you can't be here live, register now for the broadcast. On that day, that equinox integration is the Tel El Amarna revelations. It will be the rising moment. And then integration 2 must also happen in September. And that is when the Divine Master rises into new form to shepherd the October to December moment that will carry forth a portal of light through the new year that will meet back with the green comet and bring this cycle into its fruition at the March equinox. So that's why September matters. Go to ShriAnkira.com. Just ShriAnkira.com. Go there. Remember the code. Yes, if you want a discount on Alchemical Mastery. Otherwise, thank you for your donation. And Shri, I'm excited. What are we hearing from everyone?
Well, I first of all, I just want to say thank you
Yes.
to each of you, because the whole context for our being is coming forward in a way that we have not collectively experienced in the past.
And you know it.
And of course, then the part of you that is relying on past stability can wobble a little bit. And you know, Ashtar writes, I'm noticing myself in many places at once.
Good. Noticing is a good first step.
Feeling a bit off tempo at the moment.
Yeah.
And she says, I need to rewatch this because I don't feel all here. Well, I just want to underscore something. Good for you.
Right.
And similarly, Courtney's question about understanding. When we have a sense of confusion or a little bit of instability, this is a sign that the ego self is letting go.
Yeah.
And that the Divine Master has space to come forward.
You know, remember, I want to say, just because I know we're going to get close on time and we have more questions, the Divine Galactic Blueprint is trying to anchor. So if you're aware that you're in multidimensional presence and you're a little off tempo, write to High Heart, do an Ascended Ankh, do an evasive balancing, and feel your divine chakras open. ShriAnkira.com, Divine Galactic Blueprint. Go learn about it. It's there. It's free.
Yeah. Well, so here's a fun sharing. Denise writes, I rearranged my whole home a month ago, and I found a lost puzzle piece.
Oh my God, I love this sharing. That's fabulous.
She says it's been a wonderful, expanding experience ever since. So sometimes the metaphors come to life.
And sometimes the universe knows you need it that literally to go, oh my God, this is really happening.
And Nava writes, could you please say a little more what we can learn and experience from the sacred sequence of incarnation in July?
The first thing you will learn and experience is how much you have held yourself back. You will learn and experience how wide your heart can grow, and you will learn, accept, and trust the Divine Mastery presence through the complete unfolding of what the sacred sequence of incarnation is, how it affects every decision you've ever made in your life, and with that greater depth of awareness, imagine the miracles. So thanks for asking. And as we come to close today, we have a short little sharing, I think, from Sri and I about that.
I'm looking for it. My eyes are...
Okay.
Can you find it for me?
I hope so. There it is, all the way right there.
Okay, so
All
beloved
right.
ones, as we come to a close for today,
Enjoy this moment.
thank you for being here.
And get to SriandKara.com.
Thank you for being open. Visit the website. More is being posted there shortly this afternoon, and join us in July.
And if you want to join us for more than July, being here in more than just a temporary way tantalizes you, send an email to support@selfascension.com, and let's hear from you personally.
Absolutely. We love you.
And this was the other revelation in the pyramid, was that the dogmatic experience of this potentiality is intersecting to be the reason that we repeat a cycle. And that one way we can honestly break free is if we come to that moment of deep, really relaxed, peaceful resolution within to the big questions. Why am I here? Why did I take birth? Why this family? Why this planet? Why this moment? To go outside of the dogma that seeks to entrap and to embody the sacred sequence of incarnation with the full remembrance of your divine nature. Freedom.
Yes.
Freedom. And what's so profound was the ascended masters virtually dancing that this is the moment of that revelation.